Caitlin Clark snags another honor. She's made the Forbes 30 under 30 list. Clark, who is just 22 years old, is the only professional women's basketball player on this list.
Caitlin Clark snags another honor. She's made the Forbes 30 under 30 list. Clark, who is just 22 years old, is the only professional women's basketball player on this list. Picture this: a 22-year-old basketball phenom shatters records, captivates millions, and lands on Forbes 30 under 30 list. Sounds like a fairy tale, right? Well, for Caitlin Clark, it's just another day at the office. Forbes says Clark was chosen for leading the Indiana Fever to their first playoff appearance in 8 years while breaking the WNBA single-season assist record and earning Rookie of the Year honors. But wait, there's more. She also led the WNBA All-Star Game voting with more than 700,000 ballots, and has been credited with an increase in league viewership and attendance. But not everyone's cheering as Clark star rises. Another WNBA icon is feeling the heat. A'ja Wilson's desperate attempts to stay relevant are turning heads, and not in a good way. Jealousy in the WNBA, you bet, and we're about to break it all down. Always knew A'ja Wilson was overrated. Eric, you got Eric. Let me see your resume. Let me see your resume. That's what I thought. Let's talk about Caitlin Clark's latest victory. And this one's not even on the basketball court. Forbes just named her to their prestigious 30 under 30 list. But what does that really mean? Well, it's basically the business world's way of saying this person's going places. And Clark, she's the only WNBA player to make the cut this year. She's landing on a list usually reserved for seasoned veterans and sports personalities. That's Caitlin Clark for you folks. She's not just playing basketball, she's rewriting the playbook on what it means to be a young athlete in today's world. Because I just come out here and try to play basketball in a way that people love watching, in a way that is going to make my team successful, and the records and whatever, or the stats, that's just what comes with it. But let's get into the nitty-gritty of why Forbes couldn't ignore her. Clark's freshman season, it wasn't just good, it was earth-shattering. We're talking 62 broken records. That's not a typo. 62 times. Clark looked at the record books and said, nah, I can do better, and she did. Here's where it gets really interesting. Clark didn't just impress on the court, she brought the fans in droves. Her game saw a 4 times boost in viewership compared to the league average. That's not just a win for Clark, it's a win for the entire WNBA. Clark is the sole representative of the WNBA on the list. Forbes credited Clark with building viewership and bringing attention to the league during her record-setting season. And the numbers, they're mind-boggling. Dr. Ryan Brewer, a sports economics expert, put it best: the numbers are so staggering they don't even seem real. He's talking about Clark's economic impact on the WNBA. We're seeing a 4 times increase in TV viewership for women's basketball games in 2024 compared to 2023. But wait, there's more. Clark's total earnings for the year hit a cool $1 million, the highest in the WNBA. And get this, about 95% of that came from endorsements. Her Nike deal alone is worth $28 million over 8 years. That's nearly 46 times her WNBA salary. Let that sink in for a second. What does all this mean for women's basketball? It's simple. Clark isn't just playing the game, she's changing it. She's showing that women's sports can be big business. She's proving that fans will show up, tune in, and open their wallets for compelling athletes and great gameplay, not drama. The amount of people that have showed up in the stadiums, from the viewership numbers to people really wanting to wear a WNBA player's jersey or buy their merch or whatever it is, or have their shoe, just how it's evolved in that such a short period of time, I think shows everyone there is real opportunity here. And Clark Forbes' recognition isn't just a personal win, it's a signal to the sports world, to sponsors, to networks. Women's basketball is here, and it can be exciting as long as played the right way. And Caitlin Clark, she's leading the charge, one record-breaking game at a time. I see are the bees that are being dramatic about Caitlin Clark. That's all I see. They try so long to get respect for women's basketball, and then they treat it like a junior high school girl's locker room. Junior high school girl antics on the court. Instead of playing the game, they got to be drama because they're jealous. Instead of letting their skills speak for themselves, they got to be drama because they're jealous. You'd think Clark's success would have the entire WNBA cheering, but behind the scenes a different story is unfolding. What's really going on in those locker rooms, and why is Wilson's name keep popping up? So what do you think it'll be? Josh, don't piss me off, do not piss me off. When Caitlin Clark first stepped into the WNBA, the excitement was electric. Fans couldn't wait to see her college magic translate to the pro court. But as Clark's star kept rising, not everyone in the League was thrilled some veteran players started feeling the heat, and Wilson, she's been making waves of her own. Caitlin Clark, I'm sure you saw, just became the all-time scoring leader of women's college basketball. I'm curious, where would you rank her amongst all-time college players in your opinion? Ooh, that's tough cause you got to win one. I feel like that college is one of those spaces where you got to win one for them to even have your name in the conversation. And it took me 3 years to win mine. Let's talk about what's really happening. While Clark's been breaking records left and right, some WNBA vets are feeling overshadowed. It's not just about the games anymore, it's about endorsements, media attention, salary offers, and yes, even speaking fees. And that's where things get interesting. What little girl wants to grow up and play in a league where you're targeted like that? How do you sit here and profess and demand that everyone take women's sports seriously when you can't even take it seriously enough to not act like a junior high queen on the court? It's stupid. That's so dumb that it looks like a soap opera. Remember when news broke about Clark's virtual speaking fee? Well, it didn't take long for Wilson's camp to leak their own numbers. Suddenly reports were flying that Wilson charges $110,000 for virtual appearances, a cool $10,000 more than Clark's reported fee. Coincidence? Fans don't think so. She's talking about, she's charging $100K for speaking events, and fans is like, shy since when? And like, you only doing this because of Caitlin? This move didn't exactly win Wilson any popularity contests. Social media lit up with fans calling out what they saw as a desperate attempt to stay relevant. One fan tweeted, "Asia honey, we see right through you, ouch." But here's the thing, it's not just about money. Some veteran players are worried Clark's stealing more than just the spotlight. Heck, age Wilson's not 30 yet, so how's Clark handling all this drama? Like, of course. While Wilson's busy playing number games, Clark's keeping her head down and focusing on what matters, her game and her team. She's not getting caught up in the pettiness, and fans are loving her for it. In fact, Clark's graceful response is only making her more popular. She's showing that she's not just a great player but a great teammate too. And that's something no leaked contract details can compete with. "I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to be the best I get." Y'all saying best player in the world? That's great, it looks great, but I want to be the best person. I want to be the best teammate cause that's how I get the best out of my team. Here's the thing, Clark's not just changing how the game is played, she's reshaping the entire business of women's basketball. With every record she breaks and every fan she brings to the stands, she's proving that women's sports can be big business, and that's something that benefits everyone in the league. Even if some players are slow to realize it. If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on all notifications. We know watching video takes some of your time and we appreciate you. Now back to the action. The idea of some players being jealous, yes, that probably exists, and that is unfair to me. Yeah, jealous, sure. I mean, would you be jealous with somebody that got $28 million a shoe deal or whatever the deal is? More you step putting the pros as Clark continues to shine, the contrast with her critics becomes even sharper. What do industry insiders and fans really think about this unfolding drama? The answers reveal more than just basketball preferences. They're shaping the future of women's sports. I don't know what it is, but these women forever hating on CC is looking real spooky out there for a bunch of these WNBA stars. Let's dive into the court of public opinion. Social media has been on fire with reactions to Wilson's latest moves. Fans aren't holding back and they're not buying what Wilson's selling. Remember when both Wilson and Clark declined offers from Unrivaled, the new 3-on-3 basketball league? Clark's decision came with well documented reasons: her focus on self-care after a grueling year, and her preference for staying off the court during the off-season. Wilson's camp, however, quickly leaked that her offer was even bigger than Clark's, despite her reasons being far more generic. One fan nailed it: "Nobody asked Asia, you could have just said no and kept it moving." Asia Wilson is the queen of the delusion. She's actually the queen of the delusion. But it's not just random fans throwing shade. Basketball and sports journalists are weighing in too. They're pointing out how transparent Wilson's attempts to stay in the spotlight have become. It's like watching a seasoned pro fumble a basic play. Everyone can see what's happening, and it's not pretty. Despite all the jealousy, Clark isn't just thinking about herself. She's proposed paying opponents more when she plays. It's a radical